financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is budget management to achieve the 3-point retirement plan. Brian Small, your favorite topic in the whole world.
It is one of my favorite topics when it comes to helping people, because everything we do is to try to eliminate debt.
You forgot to just say good morning, Ken.
Oh, good morning, Ken.
Pat Samasker, good morning.
I have to say, Brian, you look like you lost a little weight too since
I
the
did.
last show.
We could talk about that.
All right.
Jeffrey Linden.
Good morning, Ken. I think he cut his hair.
All two of them.
This
One
eyebrow.
on the left side and one on the right side.
And this eyebrow.
So we've
Oh, and the
started to talk about budget management many times recently with the intent of always ending with the coffee story and never getting there. The famous Brian Small dun, 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 coffee story. So for this reason, the first thing I want to lead off the show with the coffee story.
All right,
And
so-
on that note, I'm turning over the keys to Brian. Please take the keys and tell us the coffee story.
All right, well, let's start off with the basic premise of what originated the coffee story. Coffee story is based and comes from the concept of budget management. Budget management is the concept of finding waste in your budget and eliminating it. It's not the idea of belt tightening, which is stopping spending something.
Go on,
Stopping spending for a period of time to save up money to achieve a short-term goal. Budget management is about changing the way you think about spending money so that you enjoy the spending that you can do, get more satisfaction out of it, while eliminating the waste in your budget.
It's Doge.
So, no, it's not. It's common sense coupled with changing the way.
That's
My
Doge.
belt is
You can
very-
stop
my
belt
My
tightening.
belt is very tight. I just have one question, and then I'll be quiet again. Are you going to tell us the coffee story?
I am. So, what happened is I had a client come in to see me, and we're not going to have a lot of sympathy for her because she was making $200,000 a year,
I'm sympathetic.
and she had claimed that she had no money in the bank. And we determined it wasn't a debt issue, it was her budgeting.
Was she married? She had children?
Single woman making a good living, and we started to look and at her spending, and I could see this recurring expense on her bank statement every single day. $4.85 a day. Ken, you'll help me with the math here since I'm talking.
Now
This must have
now
been
it's
several
$7.
years ago.
This is now $7 to $9.
Yes, all
in
right,
today's
but
budget.
it was. So, all right. Anyway, she would get herself a coffee at Starbucks every single day. All right, some latte, whatever it was. And it was costing her about $1,800 a year to buy this coffee. Now, where was she going when she was buying the coffee at Starbucks? She lived in the same city as the Starbucks.
Well, it's a social event. She's going,
No.
she's seeing the barista,
No,
she sees the same people in the store.
You're
Right,
absolutely
Yeah,
wrong.
it's-
Her pattern was wake up in West Bloomfield, drive to a Starbucks in West Bloomfield, go through the drive-through at the Starbucks in West Bloomfield, and then go to her job in West Bloomfield. A mile and a half.
So
between-
no socialization here.
a mile and a half between
And wait in line.
the time that she left her house. I mean, the distance from her house to her office.
Did she end up with a relationship with the person that hands her the coffee cup at the window?
No.
No. Okay.
So she
No
was
socialization.
So she was literally just buying coffee on her way to
On the
work.
way.
Same coffee, same water, same everything's all the same.
Didn't
right?
want to make it at home.
So I said to her, I said, here's your solution. Why don't you make your coffee at home? And she says to me, it doesn't taste the same. And I looked at her and I said, it's a possibility because I don't drink coffee. So what do I know? So I said, I tell you what, you still owe me about $800. And she goes, yeah. I go, I don't want you to pay me. She looks at me and goes, what? I go, well, don't pay me yet. If I solve your problem.
Wait. As the head of the firm. Objection! Objection!
Yeah. I said, if I don't solve your problem, you don't pay me. But if I solve your problem, you're going to pay me. And she says, okay. I said, but here's the catch. She looks at me and I go, you got to go to Williams-Sonoma and I want you to buy this $800 coffee machine.
Which is now
Probably $3,000.
The 1,200 or something. Yeah,
But-
probably $1,200.
But, and she looks at me like, are you crazy? I said, remember, you're going to pay me $800. I want you to go buy the coffee machine instead. And she said, again, what's the catch? I said, you can't go to Starbucks for 30 days. You got to make the coffee at home. So she goes, okay, I can do that. So I called up Mrs. Smith at the end of 30 days. And I said, Mrs. Smith, how's that coffee? Oh my God, Brian, it's the best coffee I have ever had. It's so, I said, better than Starbucks? She goes, oh, so much better than Starbucks. I go, how is that possible? She goes, I don't know. The machine, it grinds the beans for me. It makes the coffee. I come down, I take it, I go to work. It's fantastic. I go, that's great. You owe me $800. And she goes, what? How'd you solve my problem? I go, well, what didn't you spend at Starbucks this month? And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you didn't spend $180 at Starbucks this month. How much did it cost you for the beans? $10. So you're $170 ahead. And you'll be $170 ahead next month. And $170 ahead the following
Can
month.
I get a payment plan to pay you back the $800?
$170 a month. But at the end of 5.5, 6 months, the coffee machine is effectively paid for. Now she's $170 a month ahead for the rest of her life. That's one thing. A coffee. We did not take the coffee away from her. We did not change what she was doing or drinking in the morning.
You made it better, actually.
We made it better, and we saved money at the same time.
Let's take a break.
That's an aspect of budget management.
Let's take a break and tell me how else you do this.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
You know, Dad always asked that we look after Mom when he passed away.
I know, but she insisted on moving down to the Villages, and now she has that new boyfriend, and I am worried. Maybe it's time to just call Samasco Law.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Samasco Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Samasco Law, protecting what means most because that's what we do.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. So before we get into the budget management, you mentioned coffee.
Right.
Where's your Diet Coke?
Oh, my Diet Coke? So my Diet Coke is currently
How
on
happy he is.
hiatus. My
Well, can I just ask you a question? Did you buy the Diet Coke at a store when you would drink it?
always.
He made
Like
it
a
himself.
Speedway or something? Like
Oh
one
no
of
no
these big
no!
cups?
I always bought
And how much
2
were you
liter bottles.
How much were you spending on this Diet
How much
Coke?
was I spending on Diet Coke? Roughly $5 a week. It's
That's not
not
very
super
much.
expensive. No.
But you stopped. What happened to your Diet Coke?
So I read an article. Well, first of all, I went on vacation, and my wife said to me, she says, "I think you're drinking too much pop." And I said, "Okay."
You live in the Midwest.
You said, shut the hell up
Soda.
and let me live my
soda,
life.
soda pop,
So
or Coke if you're in Mid-South.
anyway, so
Coke.
and Coke is Pepsi,
Coke is Sprite.
and Coke is root beer.
Coke is whatever.
What type of Coke do you want? I get
Exactly.
it. I lived in Richmond, Richmond, Virginia, so that's the way we used
So,
to
that's
ask for it.
so pop was Coke.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Anyway, so I said to her, I said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to give it up." And currently I'm at about 12 days of not drinking any Diet Pop, any pop at all.
Are you missing it?
I do a little bit, yep. And I have also stopped drinking carbonated waters because I read a medical study that said even carbonated waters can preclude you from losing weight. So, and the positive is in 12 days I lost 3 pounds.
There you go.
So
Nice. Interesting. Well, we'll have to monitor this situation.
that wasn't a money issue. That was
to a future show.
that's a
Well,
health issue.
That's a body management.
That's a health issue,
rather
yep.
than a budget.
That's the
Management,
listen to
you're
your
budgeting
wife
your
issue.
calories and other things.
Oh.
We should have a weigh-in for the show.
well because
every week.
Diet Pop.
Well, we'll monitor it.
You're-
I promise you, we'll monitor it from week to week.
People think that Diet Pop has no calories, so it doesn't. But the body treats it like it's
It's
sugar
it out.
anyway.
Yeah,
Well, wait.
I mean-
I just have one last question, and then we move back to the topic. What was the year of this study?
It was like a 2019 study. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot of research
So
into
we
it.
don't know whether
This
it's
is my
valid.
budget management. If you pan around with the camera, how many water bottles do people have? You switch from Diet Coke to water bottles, right? There's one,
But water
two,
is-
three, four,
Yeah, but
five.
I
No,
could-
you're buying them. There's a sink full of water.
No,
Just go to the
at
sink
home-
and fill up the
At
water.
home, I drink water out of the tap.
Yeah. I get it.
I'm guilty. I use bottled water, particularly when I'm working out. I like a bottle, and I'm very particular about the bottle because I want it to be a hard enough plastic bottle so that it doesn't like crunch in your hand.
Right.
But anyway, budget management. I like to put budget management into the 3-point retirement plan.
It's how
big
you
goal-
create the 3-point retirement plan.
The goal is you want to get to the point where you own your home free and clear, you have zero debt, and you have cash in the bank when you're ready to retire or want to be able to slow down. And budget management, just like debt elimination and everything else, are tools that we get there. But when you talk about, all right, so your example with the coffee story was you changed, how do you frame it? You didn't tighten the belt.
All we
You
did was found
an
a different
alternative.
way to get the same result, and we improved the cash flow by doing so.
I have a story that I used to like to tell when we did it, but it's a little bit outdated because it relates to Lord and Taylor, which has been gone for several years now.
Many.
And it also relates to when the Lions were terrible. On
Which has also been
Sundays-
several years.
Yeah. On Sundays, I used to say, I can't just sit and watch the Lions game. It's just going to annoy me. So I would typically, for the first half, oftentimes hop in the car, drive to the mall, something that is also
I miss it.
an unusual event
Right.
nowadays. And I'd go to Lord and Taylor, and I like the men's department. And I learned in Lord and Taylor after a while that everything goes on sale at some point in time, and it's quickly. So I would go, I'd walk around the store, I'd see a sport coat that I liked, and I'd say, I like that. It would look good on me. I feel good about that. I'm not buying it. I'm going to wait. And I'd go and I'd have other things that I'm looking for that had gone on sale that weren't. And I would then buy them on sale. And I'd come home and I'd show them to Bonnie, my wife. Look what I got. Guess how much I paid for it. Because the original price would be, on a sport coat, would be $350. And by the time it's marked all the way down, sometimes you're paying $78 for it. And I got a lot of satisfaction out of that process. Whereas before I started that, I would just walk in and say, oh, that's a sport coat I like. I would take out a piece of plastic, I'd throw it across the table, and I'd spend $3.95 on the same sport coat I could have bought 6 months later for $85.
So here's the thing.
I learned.
You learned, but you still, and you're
I
getting
got much more satisfaction
He's
out
got
of
a
78.
450 sport coats in his closet.
Yeah, but he went with the logic of,
That's true.
Look how much I saved.
And that was the fun.
And that for you that's fine. I look at how much did you spend. Okay?
Oh, that
It's-
might still be
That's
depressing.
a
That's
different
a lot of sport
question.
coats.
and so
But
it's
both go to.
yeah, so with budget management, and we'll talk about it. I know we're coming up on the break. So, but the
Not
budget,
really.
the
You got a
concept
whole
of budget
minute.
management is eliminating waste. So,
It's Doge.
right, but who's waste? What is the waste?
So
That's the problem.
too many sport coats might be waste.
it
anyway.
might be. So here's
To your
the-
wife, it's a
Genius.
waste. But
So-
for her closet, no problem. So that's the problem. It's who's looking at it.
Actually, it's a little flipped in my house.
But the key here is when you start with 3 categories of spending when we're looking at budget management: necessary spending, not necessary
Need it
spending,
and want it.
and sort of necessary spending.
Where's the sport coat?
Well, where is the sport coat? Where do you put the sport coat? That's for you to categorize.
Not necessary.
Okay, so you put the
I mean, I
sport
had
coat
the
in
sport
not
coat.
necessary. So when you look at
But
necessary
having fun
spending,
is important to me.
sure. Does that go in necessary, or does
Yes.
that go in?
Fun? For me, fun goes into necessary.
But you're wrong. And when we come back from the break, I'll explain why.
Where are you on fun? Necessary or unnecessary?
Necessary.
Fun, necessary or unnecessary?
Living life is necessary.
We'll take a break and we'll attack this issue.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon Building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
You know, Dad always asked that we look after Mom when he passed away.
I know, but she insisted on moving down to the Villages, and now she has that new boyfriend. And I am worried. Maybe it's time to just call Samasco Law.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Samasco Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Samasco Law, protecting what means most because that's what we do.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
So we're back, and we got caught on the word fun. So I'm thinking fun is really important to me.
Absolutely.
But
let's start with the basic premise that necessary expenses are those that keep a roof over your head.
Agreed.
The mortgage, the electric bill, the gas bill, the gasoline for the car insurance, things like that. Those things, if you brought home $3,000 a month and had $3,000 worth of necessary expenses, how much fun with money could you have?
Under your theory, the answer is zero.
That's
right?
correct.
That's a big problem, though.
It is a problem.
Because how can you live if you can't have fun?
I understand that, but if
he
you
said fun
look
with
at
money.
I said fun with money. And if you bring home exactly what it takes to keep that roof over your head, there is no opportunity to have disposable spending.
I have to have fun doing something else.
Yes, but if you have, so you bring home
I have to have fun not spending money because I'm broke.
Hang on. If you bring home $4,000 and your hard expenses to keep the roof over your head are $3,000, you have an opportunity to spend $1,000 doing something else, right?
Yes.
That's your disposable income.
And somewhere in there I can budget in some fun.
It's your choice. That's the whole concept. When you look at budget management, the first thing we do is we categorize our spending.
So maybe we need to redefine the term fun. At the break you were telling me a story about your mom.
Right. It was sort of the inverse of your story with the sport coat. So my mom would go, in her day, she would go to Hudson's. That was her favorite place to go. She'd go.
I was
and
around for Hudson's.
She'd come home with bed sheets, towels, pillowcases, and daisy dishes that were hideous or whatever. And she'd say, "Oh, well, I got you this set of dishes." And I'm like an adult, and I have a home. I'm like, I don't need dishes. But I got them on sale. I saved money. I'm like, no, you spent less money than you would have if they weren't on sale on something nobody needed.
So that for her that was fun.
Wait,
but
that's the
what
key.
You're saying.
Right.
That's the key. Need, want, and so now let's look at the not necessary
So she was
expenses.
prioritizing fun over need.
You got to give me this, okay?
Go ahead.
So you look at the not necessary expenses, and everything that goes in a not necessary column includes eating out, going to the movies, going on vacation, buying a movie for
that's the fun category,
right.
isn't it?
So, but everything that's in that fun category has a level of satisfaction, right?
Yes, agreed.
Okay, so some things have a lower level of
your client with the Starbucks.
Right.
That was in
Right.
the fun
not necessary.
The not
Right.
necessary.
So
But
if
for
you,
her, it was necessary
Let
at
him
the
get to it.
beginning.
but if you now you so everything goes in right the column. Now what do? You grade it,
Right.
right? So what's a passing grade in school?
B,
D minus.
B-
for me.
family.
B plus.
A B plus to you. What's a passing grade
For me,
in school? What was a passing grade?
oh, in my house, if I anything lower than an A minus was
Okay,
punishment.
all right.
But a passing grade is like a C minus.
Okay, so that's like about a
Technically.
65%, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So grade your spending. Does it give you satisfaction
Oh, there you
more
go. I'm seeing
or
where you're
less
going.
than a 60 or 65%?
I like it.
So here, I'll go back to my Ord & Taylor example. Buying the sport coat at retail with the credit card probably gave me a C, and buying the sport coat at a discount for 1/3 of the price for cash gave me an A plus.
Perfect. So now, if your score on the stuff that you're buying, so when you go out and you go to McDonald's because you're between appointments and you didn't remember to take your own lunch and you spent $12 or $15 at McDonald's, you grade that. Does that make it above a 4?
When I was 30, that would have been a
Awesome.
B. If I did it now, it would be an F because
Right.
I figured
Right.
I had shortened my life by eating it.
Wait, did you see what you just did? You graded it, right?
Right.
So you grade that spending, and then what we do with that spending is everything below a 70%.
Get rid of it.
We're trying to eliminate. And what happens is if you go through the process of budget management, you start to think
cool.
about what you're spending
See, if you give him a chance,
before you
he'll
spend
get
it.
there.
Yeah.
And
It's hard.
so
It's hard.
couple
Here's another
with the
area
fact that the average family of 4, at least in my analysis, has wastes between 8 and 13% of their gross income annually. Now,
So there's a lot you can do with
everybody
it.
spends it, right? But
Right.
if your cut line is 70% and you're spending between 8 and 13% of your gross income below the line,
Yeah.
if you could eliminate some or all of that
that's
wasteful
the
spending,
savings for the 3-point retirement plan.
Right.
it is.
Here's a common one that comes up, and it not
That's
so
cool.
much you, but it hits our 3 core disciplines. I go by that because it's tax deductible. That's spending $1 you might not need to spend to save 25 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just spent 75 cents you didn't need to.
Oh, I just bought this computer. It's
Right.
tax deductible or it's energy efficient or whatever. I'm going to make
Pay a
an
mortgage
appointment
on the
with you
house.
for budget management. I want to come in on January 1st, 1989. So that I want to have that meeting, I want to go back in the time
Marty.
machine, and by doing that, on today's world, I'm going to have $10 million because I was a budget management flunky.
But that's the key. It's never too late to start budget management.
And on that note, we'll say have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.